Cha, what's good, boys? Beach Guy TDI here, dropping a little messy for you before the video starts, alright? Hope you guys are cool with that. Hope you guys are down. The boys over at World Gaming have set up a little NHL tourney for you. Make some extra cash while you play. Why not, right? It's called the NHL 18 Cup, fittingly, and it runs until Halloween, October 31st, y'all. Now, this one's a men's tourney, alright? So you boys gotta take a back seat, wait a few years until you're 18 to play, alright? You gotta be 18 or older. This thing's set up in a bracket format with both Xbox and PS4. Now, if you sign up, you better stay on top of this because brackets are running every single day, dudes. So when you play games, you earn medals based on how you do in the brackets, and then at the end of October, the player with the most medals will win cash prizes, dude. Gnarly, right? There are also some weekly prizes for those casuals, so don't grind as hard. Now, if the cup's too much for you, you can still compete in the leaderboard. It's $500 prize pool, it's free to enter, and leaderboards are available again on both consoles. But you better wax your sticks hard, dude, because only the top 8 places get paid. So if this sounds like something you dudes would be interested in, then drop in the description. There's 3 links there, so hang 10, and until next one, I'll see you guys, and I'll pass it over to regular boring old YouTuber TDI. See ya! What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This one, we're going to be looking at my personal top 10 NHL right wings right now. So before we get into the top 10, I'm going to take a crack at my first honorable mention here. He's one of the smallest players in terms of size on this list, and he's probably one of the most underrated players on this list as well. So he's on the New York Rangers. He's from Norway, Mats Zuccarello. He is so good on the Rangers. I mean, he's one of their best players. I mean, Rick Nash hasn't been all that great. Kreider's kind of been slumping after his good playoff run a few years ago. So Zuccarello's had to take hold of the Rangers, and he's been leading them to a pretty decent amount of success. I know playoffs are a different story, but yeah, Zuccarello's always near the top of their list in scoring. And for the kind of player he is, you know, the small, quick type, he really excels in those aspects of the game. He knows how to score, and he knows how to make plays, and he's one of the main reasons why the Rangers are kind of still where they are, near the middle, top of the standings, rather than on their way down. Number 10 is another pretty small player, and somebody who I wouldn't have even thought to include on this list last year if I had done these. But he made a huge leap forward this year with his team. This, of course, is Cam Atkinson. Now, like I said, he had a great year along with the rest of the Columbus Blue Jackets. So the thing is, was his point production last year a one-off year? Will he decline again, as people are predicting that the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to do this season? So, I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He looks on the up and up. And that forward line with Foligno, and now if he gets to play with Panarin as well, they might tear it up. And I'm interested to see how that plays out. So Cam Atkinson, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and put him at number 10. Now, number 9 has had the benefit of playing alongside 2 of the best players in the game, and I've already talked about them, one in each of my last 2 videos. So one of them is one of the best scorers, if not the best scorer in the game right now. One of them is the best playmaker. And their wingmate for majority of the time is TJ Oshie. Now, he was one of the leaders on St. Louis till he got traded, and now he's kind of in the shadow of Nick Backstrom and Ovi, of course, who I was talking about. That has freed him up to kind of do his own thing and, you know, be the creative kind of two-way forward that he is. He's got amazing hands. He knows when to score. I'm hoping that Washington can take it further. They need to break through, and I think Oshie will be a big help, especially in the playoffs when their target men, Ovi and Backstrom, are getting shut down by the top line forwards and D pairings. Oshie is a great player in his own right, and I think deservedly he falls to number 9. Now, I feel like a lot of players on my list are heavily underrated players that don't get a lot of media attention for what they do, but they produce, and there's no question about this player. He's no exception. I'm talking about Mark Stone. Now, I've had one of his comparables, Mike Hoffman, on my left wing list. Stone's kind of a similar player in just terms of the way he can score and he can make plays, although he's not the quickest player. He's had a lot of success in his fairly short career with Ottawa, who's by no means an offensive powerhouse. I think Stone is just on the up and up, that those two will be kind of the cornerstones going forward of Ottawa's offense. It also helps being a forward on Ottawa when you have a guy like Erik Karlsson on the back end, keeping pucks in play in the offensive zone, and he's been a significant contributor to their recent playoff success. Now, I had a really tough time separating these next three. There wasn't too much separating them. The one thing that does is their age ranges. You know, one's fairly older, one just broke into the league, and another one's had a pretty decent young career, though he is still young. So at number 7, I am putting David Pasternak. So again, it's a continuing theme with my sort of opinions here. I don't weigh one recent year too heavily, and I know my next selection will kind of contradict that, but I'll give you my reasons. Pasternak is a young up-and-coming player. He is one of the top wingers on Boston now. He emerged this year with Marchand, and he's got the benefit of playing with players like Bergeron and Krejci down the middle. So, I mean, he is insane. He's one of the best Czech players on the planet right now, and that's saying a lot. You know, he's competing with Jake Voracek, Jaromir Jagr, David Krejci, teammates. So Pasternak is looking to be one of the up-and-coming elite snipers in the NHL. I'm excited what Boston's got going for them. I mean, you thought they were on the decline, but they might be coming back up if Marchand and Pasternak can keep up their production like they did last season. So, yeah, Pasternak had a really good year. I'm hoping to see it continue at number 7. Some of my more observant viewers will have already known that I have already revealed number 6. Obviously, I've dropped hints in what I've been saying, but he's also sitting right behind me, Patchy Kane. Now, I know that I say I don't put too much weight on rookie years or potentially anomalous years, but I mean, I'm just going based off what I am seeing from Patchy Kane. And you know, the depth of right wingers is not as deep as, say, centerman. Laine is already one of the top wingers. And that says something about his skill, but also the depth of talent at the wings. So Laine, I mean, you can't deny his comparability, even just his shot, to Alexander Ovechkin. And I mean, it's crazy what this kid can do. He can hit, he can make plays, and he is set up for an unlimited amount of success on Winnipeg with Ehlers, Scheifele, Wheeler, and all those other guys on Winnipeg who I think are going to challenge for a playoff spot as soon as this year. Now, before we jump to the top 5, let me talk about another honorable mention here. Yes, I am including a lot of one-off players this year. He's not on the list, but he did have a great year in his first year back from Russia. And of course, I'm talking about Alexander Radulov. Now, he was great on Montreal, one of their best players, just electrifying the kind of plays he makes, and you can tell that he's a player who truly loves the game. You see in his goal celebrations when he scores, he absolutely loves it. Obviously, it helps that the thing that you do as a profession is something that you truly love, and he loves scoring goals, and you can see it in his face. So he scored a fair bit on Montreal, and now that he got traded to Dallas, he might play with one of the most dynamic duos in the league, in Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin. So if that is their first line, good luck any defensive team in the Western Conference, in the league anyways. Like, it's going to be crazy. Radulov, Benn, and Seguin are ones to watch in the league for sure, and they might push Dallas right into the playoffs just by purely outscoring their opponents. Now, we all know number 5 enjoys his fair share of hot dogs, but he also enjoys his fair share of goals, and he loves to score them. I had the pleasure of watching Phil Kessel play in Toronto for a number of years, and I can tell you that I was very disappointed in how he wasted his talents. I know he still had opportunities. He still, you know, got to the playoffs, and we won't talk about 2013 at all. Phil is one of the best pure goal scorers in the league. He's got the best snapshot in the game. It's incredible. His release is second to none. And, I mean, it's exciting watching him play. And it's exciting, and it makes me happy that he actually found success and moved on from that poor situation that was going on in Toronto and actually found success with Pittsburgh. And now we can say Phil Kessel's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. I don't think I would have bet on myself saying that 2 years ago. So yeah, Phil's definitely one of the best wingers in the league. I've got him at number 5. Now, I think this might be the second time that we've had a pair of teammates on the same list. The first one was obviously Crosby and Malkin and the centers list. This one is actually a teammate of Patrick over here, and he goes by the name of Blake Wheeler. Yes, another Boston trade away victim. So we got 2 in a row, actually. I forgot Kessel and now Wheeler, who's drafted by Boston. But Blake Wheeler is, in my honest opinion, the best power forward in the game. He's so strong, he's got great hands, and he knows how to score those greasy goals that power forwards need to when they muck it up in front of the net. So Blake Wheeler's been one of my favorite players since, you know, a few years ago. I started watching Jets games more because they're in the Central Division against my Hawks, and I mean, Wheeler has been super impressive, and I can't believe Boston didn't let him develop longer. I mean, you can say about a lot of players, but Wheeler's definitely a one that got away from them. His numbers speak for themselves, and he's the rightful captain of the Winnipeg Jets. So that's why I feel justified in putting Wheeler at number 4. Before we get into the top 3, I want to touch on the last honorable mention down here. Now, this is another Czech player who probably would have been higher up on this list, actually on the list a couple of years ago, but has kind of fallen off along with the success of his team. So this player's name, Jakub Voracek. I don't know what his first name is, honestly, how to pronounce it, but nonetheless, he's a great player. I mean, it helps playing alongside one of the most skillful centers in the league, Claude Giroux. But yeah, Jake Voracek is one of the most dominant wingers. Unfortunately, he's had some injury bugs recently. I hope the young players start to develop quicker and kind of give Voracek some support so that he can get back to his former self. So, I mean, he's a good player, but in my opinion, not good enough to crack the top 10. So now we're getting to the top 3, which are, in my opinion, in a league of their own. And numbers 2 and 3 especially were very hard to separate. Number 1's kind of in another league of his own. But number 3 is one of the best Russian snipers. I know there's a long list of those with Ovi Panarin and now Vladimir Tarasenko. He is incredible to watch. He is small, but he's like compact and he's thick and he can hit. He's really tough to knock off the puck, and I mean, he's got one of the best wrist shots in the game. He knows how to find those little holes in through the traffic to find the back of the net. He's done it multiple times against Chicago in the playoffs, and he's such a heartbreaker, man. He is so good. I mean, you've seen multiple one-handed moves that he's pulled off against goalies like Henrik Lundqvist of all people. So I mean, he's got mountains of skill, and he's such an exciting player to watch. Cover of NHL 17 this past year, and number 3 on my list. Number 2 is a fellow countryman of Tarasenko. He kind of just exploded onto the scene in the last few years, and his production has seemingly been exponential. He is unbelievable, and I mean, with Steven Stamkos out, Nikita Kucherov has almost taken the reins of the Tampa Bay Lightning offense, and I mean, it's incredible how Tampa's kind of still hung around, although not this year, to go without Stamkos and still compete for a playoff spot. So Kucherov is on the up and up. He's one of the best Russian players, if not one of the best wingers in the game. And yeah, he's got loads of talent, and he's so young. He's set up for huge amounts of success. I know I said it in my Edmonton video when accepting all trades there. Stamkos and him had a great year in that simulation, and I can definitely see that being replicated in real life. If Stamkos has a full, healthy year, both of them could easily rack up at least 80 points each. And now, of course, we bring it to the finale, number 1, and I'm sure none of you will have any issues with me putting the guy on my back up at number 1. Although he may be one-dimensional, Patchy Kane is offensively gifted. I've never seen any player handle the puck. Maybe comparable might be Getsu, but they have 2 totally different styles of carrying the puck, and I've never seen a player like Patchy Kane before, and I don't think we'll ever see another player like him. One of his favorite skill sets of mine is his ability to break into the zone. He is a master. He knows how to knife through, and he can gain a possession in the offensive zone and keep it for his team and set up plays to score key goals. And Patchy Kane is, you know, second to none. And in my opinion, he's the first right winger on my list and one of the top 3 players in the entire league. He's creative, he's electrifying, he is funny, and he's everything that I hope for that the new, rookie classes coming into the league aspire to be. Patchy Kane is what hockey needs. He captivates audiences. Any little subtle play he makes, I can't even talk when I'm watching him. I'm just amazed. And although I'm a Hawks fan, I don't think there's any bias involved in putting him at #1, guys. Alright, so if you disagree with my list, instead of putting a dislike, just leave your list in the comments, and we'll talk about it in there, and we'll debate and have some conversation over the next couple of days. Also, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I have 2 more lists to go through, at least, defensemen and goalies. So stay tuned for that, guys. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like on the video if you did, and until next one, I'll see you guys then.